Hello friends and welcome to Keriis Life Notes. I am super excited today because this video is coming to you on my birthday and I love birthdays. People who know me know that I get so excited about my own and other people's birthdays as well, and therefore I'm very happy to share this video with you and to share this wonderful time of the year with you all. And I thought this birthday I'll do something special and I'll introspect and think about all the things that I have learned and all the experiences that have made me the person I am today. And I have picked out 5 things which are my biggest learnings so far, things that have really changed my life. So these are experiences that I have had over the last few years, I would say mostly in my 20s, which have really helped shape the kind of person that I am and have really helped me get a wider and a more holistic view of life and what kind of human being I want to be. So enough of a preamble, let's get into the video right away. I think the first learning or the first experience that I want to talk about is traveling alone. This is something which has by far been one of the most character building, the most shaping experiences of my life, because when I'm traveling alone, both in India or abroad, I know that I have complete independence and also complete responsibility for what I do and what happens with me. It is extremely empowering knowing you can make whatever decisions you want to without any constraints, and also you yourself have to bear the consequences of whatever decisions you make. And what traveling alone has really given me is, first, the ability to face any challenge on my own. When I'm out there, when I'm traveling, I know I have to lift my own suitcases. I know I have to do my own documents, my own currency. I have to take care of all my belongings. I cannot be dependent on anyone else. So it's a great sense of being independent. It's a great sense of feeling empowered and feeling that you can really achieve anything, any challenge that life throws at you. The second thing which traveling alone really helped me is to be comfortable with my own company, to enjoy my own company, because I truly believe once we start enjoying being ourselves, being with ourselves and enjoying just with ourselves without having to depend on other people, that's when other people also start enjoying with us and we become a fun person to hang around with. The second experience or the second thing which has really helped me in my 20s is being financially aware and being on top of my finances always. I know not everyone can be financially secure and 100% confident with where they are 100% of the time, because there will be ups and downs. But I think the important thing or the learning for me was to know where you stand, to understand how much you can spend, how much you can't spend, and how much can you survive if you lost your job tomorrow. I think that's a really important thing to be aware of. I took a break from my career for about 4 months, where I wasn't earning any income and I was just traveling and I was doing some passion projects which I really wanted to do. And the only reason I was able to do that was because I had built my finances in a way that I knew that I could sustain myself, pay all my bills, pay all my EMIs for a certain X number of months, and therefore I knew that I could take a break for, let's say, 6 months or 3 months or whatever that number was for me at the time. So I do believe to really lead a free and happy life, being on top of your finances is really important, and that's something which I'm extremely grateful for on this birthday. The third experience that I have had and which has really taught me a lot is stepping out of my comfort zone and doing something which I wouldn't ordinarily do. And I did 2 of those things in my life, which I would say really helped shape me and really changed my personality. One was the career break that I talked about, where I actually went and worked in a political environment. It's not something which I ever thought I would do. It's not something which I want to go back to and do, but at least those 3 or 4 months when I did it were life-shaping, because they threw me into a completely different set of challenges to what I was used to dealing with. And I think there were a lot of learnings which I took away from that phase of my life into when I went back into the corporate world. The second big risk, or the second challenge that I took for myself, threw myself in an uncomfortable position, was when I started doing keto or a low carb diet, which was to eliminate all sugar, rice, wheat, and anything which is a high carb, starchy food from my diet. And being an Indian, that was extremely difficult for me at the time, but I think that was one of the best decisions that I took, and I'm so thankful that I did step out of my comfort zone and I did not stick to this notion that I have to have XYZ in my diet. Because not only was I able to lose weight, I was also able to drastically improve a lot of my health measures. Overall, whenever I have thrown myself into an uncomfortable position or challenged myself to do something which I wouldn't ordinarily do, it has always paid off in leaps and bounds, maybe not the way I imagined it would, but it certainly has. The fourth thing that I have picked out from my experiences, which I feel is a big learning for me, is to always be curious and to always be learning something new, to increasing your skill set. Gaining new knowledge is always helpful, even if that knowledge is never going to benefit you in a monetary way, but even just making you into a more well-rounded personality, somebody that you can talk to, somebody who can engage in any kind of conversation. It just makes you a much better human being if you are learning and constantly developing. So that's one of my big life experiences, which is to be constantly curious and constantly upgrading myself, learning new skills, and keep discovering new versions of myself. The final experience, or the final life experience, that I'm really grateful for on this birthday is actually something which I have picked up from all the flights that I take. I travel a lot, and one thing which they always tell you when you're if you listen to the flight announcement is, when there is a drop in cabin pressure, the oxygen mask is going to drop down. Put your oxygen mask first before assisting others. And I have taken a very important life lesson from that, which is that if you yourself are not the best version of yourself, if your cup is not full, if you are not emotionally satisfied, if you are unhappy, then you really cannot give your best to your work, to your family, to the society. You have to make yourself and your happiness a priority before you can actually help others. You have to be a good version of yourself. If your cup is empty, you're not going to be able to give anything to others. And I have learned this the hard way. I went through a time in my life where everything seemed gray. I was unhappy with my job. I was unhappy with the way I looked, the way I felt, the way I interacted with people. I wasn't learning, I wasn't growing, and I just felt really stagnated in life. And I realized that was the time when I was probably the worst wife, the worst daughter. I was irritated with everyone most of the time. I was snappy and short with them. And truly, when I fixed those internal issues, when I became a happy, whole version of myself, that's when I was able to solve the problem of how to be a good wife or how to be a good employee or so on. So this birthday, I really want to continue this learning of investing in myself, of prioritizing my own happiness before I prioritize anybody else's happiness, and making sure that I am the best version of me so that I can help not only myself but everyone around me and society around me, and I can hopefully contribute in a meaningful way to other people's lives. So those were the 5 things that I have learned in the past few years as I reflect on this birthday. I hope this wasn't too much of a chatty video, or I hope it didn't turn preachy. The idea, as I mentioned, was to share my experiences and what I have learned. And I would urge you, I think it's a great exercise to look back over the experiences that you have had over the past few years in shaping you and making you into a better version of yourselves, because that will really help you get an idea of what you want to do more of, what kind of a life you want to lead, what kind of a human being you want to be. And I think it's totally worth investing that time in yourself. So thank you for staying with me till the end of this rather chatty and long video on my birthday. Thank you so much for joining in today. I'll see you in the next one.